Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Rounding the Bases podcast. I'm Coach Coons along with Coach Porter and Coach Cart on a chilly St. Patrick's Day here in 2026. Gentlemen, I thought what we do, you got the World Baseball Classic Championship going on, you got college baseball in full swing. I thought what we would do is kind of like we've talked about recruiting for 2026 and beyond, and kind of recap this up a little bit because you still got people that think a lot of things are going on with recruiting and it's totally different than it was 2 years ago, 3 years ago, whatever. So let's try to give a guide to 26 and beyond recruits and, going out there. There is so much information on TikTok. You got club coaches, you got trainers, strangers, message boards, all offering advice. And sometimes it throws a wrench into things because you got all different ways going out there. I mean, you look on TikTok, you can find videos, 7 different ways how to hit a softball, or 5 different ways how to pick a guy off first base in baseball. So you get a lot of conflicting reports, and that's where a company like ours really becomes a valuable commodity in helping things do that. For example, we've told you before, only a small number of you are going to play in college, and even a smaller group are going to get athletic aid. You may have a chance to play, but that doesn't mean you're going to get any money or any of this or any of that. But it doesn't mean your dream's unrealistic. It just means you need a better strategy. And recruiting has also shifted to that social media and the transfer portal, and it has changed how teams recruit. And we were talking before we came on the air right here. There's coaches that aren't even looking at high school kids now. They're just going to the portal. And so getting into that, coaches nowadays are looking for recruits who are proactive, the good attitude, they're well organized, and honest about their level. They really do. And that's what they're looking at. So here's the first thing I wanted to talk about, common myths of recruits. And you guys jump in here. Common myths used to be, if I'm good enough, coaches will find me.
Disagree.
I agree with you. I disagree. One big tournament or showcase will change everything.
It might. It could. If you perform, it could. And the
Your
right
probability's low. Probability's low.
Well, hold on though. I think that depends on where you're at. I think that it depends on the context. If you're at a showcase with 40 college coaches in attendance and you do really well, I mean, it could, or it might not.
To change everything, I thought, Coach Porter, was it could get you noticed for the next tournament or the next whatever. You might not be on anybody's radar. You have one super tournament, and now they're writing down your name. Like, okay, what's this kid about? They'll start to do maybe some research, or they'll contact us, a company like us, to find out about you. So that's where it could change.
Coach, you also said something really interesting, though. You said if you're at a showcase with 40 college scouts. A lot of the showcases that I've been to with a couple big-time name brands, they normally don't have 40 scouts there. They're just posting your information online. Now, there's another showcase that we partake in that has 40 college scouts.
Well, I also think that's, once again, I think that's a competition level thing. I think that's where the fish are. Yeah. They're going to go where the fish are, right? They're going to go where the fish are. Are there big time showcases, pre-workouts, that type of stuff with those types of numbers there? I mean, yeah, there are. Those are few and far between, but like, I can tell you this much. If there's a bunch of guys who are SEC guys or high-level Division I guys, like there's going to be people in person there going field to field, and not, you know, yeah, that's just all there is to it. So it just, it depends. But like, listen, I'm going to tell everybody here right now, a good recruiter who beats the bushes, like they're going to look at information that these people are pushing, but they're going to see this kid in person a bunch. They're not going to rely on that. They're going to watch that kid a bunch, as much as they can. And you said it before we got on the phone, they can't be wrong.
Yeah.
I don't care what anybody says. The best recruiters in the country in the game of baseball at the Power 4 level are on the road a lot when they're evaluating people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're a lot.
But here's another piece. Coach, how many times did you find a player after you had gone to watch a different player?
A bunch.
Yeah.
A lot. And here's the other thing, too, guys. Like, the game's changed. Like, these guys are now going to recruit it. They're going to watch summer games.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to watch high level summer baseball, college summer baseball to recruit. You didn't do that years ago, but all these guys are in the portal. They're going. So this is all changed. But I'm telling you, guys are on the road. You have to be.
Yep. Last myth I put was Division I is always the best option.
Yeah.
That used to be a myth a few years ago. Now, my question to you is, what's Division I? The lines are so blurred because of the transfer portal, because of this. You're seeing some great players at Division II, NAIA, even Division III.
Power 4 is professional baseball.
Right. And softball.
Yeah. I mean,
same way.
I mean, I kind of shoot from the hip. I don't know the type of budgets they're exactly dealing with, but I'm sure you get an SEC land and you're talking maybe multi-million-dollar budgets that they have NIL money for.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, and probably the same goes for maybe not as much money for the Big 12, Big 10. I mean, with the addition of the West Coast schools, the Big 10 bumps them up. ACC, you've got the Southern schools there in the ACC that, I mean, Clemson, I'm sure carries a big pocketbook. Yeah, I mean, it's all going to spread now, right? I mean,
right. How about this? Play the long game, not the hype game. Be honest about your level, the money, the role, instead of chasing the biggest logo out there. Like a kid could have 5 schools talking to him, and one is a huge one, and the other ones are down here. Well, yeah, you'd want to go to the SEC or the UCC or this one. But what dream are you chasing there? If you want to play.
Yeah, I think more now than ever, you got to go where you're going to play.
Yeah.
Everybody's replaceable. Remember that, especially in today's college game. Everybody's replaceable. Everybody is replaceable.
Which leads me right to the next thing. Control the controllables. You can't control who a coach has already promised or how many fifth-year seniors return to that team. You can control your grades, your communication, your film, your training habits, and your understanding of NCAA or NAIA or NJCAA rules for that sport. Okay? Coaches are going to take the best that they can. If they can get a fifth-year senior to stay one more or stay for a fifth year, guess what? They're going to try to have him.
There's no doubt. I mean, I like the days of these coaches going, "Oh, we're going to go all young, and I'm going to throw a bunch of freshmen." I mean, those days are kind of over. I mean, I'm not saying that it there's no always or nevers, but like,
Right.
I mean, kids coming out of school right now, kids that are in high school right now are up against it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's unfortunate. I think you're going to see a lot more kids go Division III, to be honest with you.
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with that. But I think Division III is going to benefit from this.
But Coach, how many times do you talk to your old colleagues and they've had more or less kind of storied historical good baseball programs, and they have to completely look different now because they get a junior or senior that performs well and they're gone?
Well, I think a lot of those guys aren't. I have friends. Well, I think there's guys that used to be really, really good at traditional college baseball and were able to out recruit people even with less facilities because of their reputation
Right.
and how they developed guys. And I think that now I think unless you're resourced as an institution, I think it's almost impossible to compete.
Yeah.
Unless your institution is putting stuff into your athletics, I think it's almost possible to compete because at the end of the day, like a really good coaching friend of mine said, you bring in a mule's a mule. You can train a mule like a thoroughbred. You can do this, but at the end of the day, a mule's a mule. So my point is this: the rich are getting richer in college athletics right now. I think at every level. And at every level, teams are understanding we have to put in, well, first of all, at the lower levels, you're in this higher ed crunch where people are closing and blah, blah, blah. It's not helping them. So you got to realize that you got to you have to have something to offer these kids. Or it's going to be hard to compete because at the end of the day, like I said, a mule's a mule. And I don't care how good of a coach you are. Some guys overcome more than others with different, methods and cultures. But at the end of the day, it's extremely difficult without the Jimmies and Joes. I mean, it just is.
Right.
What championship team do you know of in any sport in recent memory that you looked at and you're like, huh, that team didn't have comparable talent to the others, or at least have a couple elite level players and a supporting cast that could get them through, which evened it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, doesn't that look,
Right.
guys? It just doesn't. It's not happening today. I hate to say it because I love the underdog. But it's difficult. You got the institution's got to be committed to athletics.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that brings me to the point where we can help you. There is so much, I don't want to say working against you. There is so much not working for that high school athlete anymore because of the different portals and things like that. A company like ours, we can help you audit your academics, make sure you're taking the right things. We can help you. We help you with a coach-ready resume. I mean, it's not just a regular resume to get yourself noticed, coach. There's special ways to go. We show you how to contact coaches with a purpose, not spam, not copy and paste one email on the whole thing. We go over camps with you, tournaments strategically, and then follow up and track your progress with you. I think, and without sounding condescending or anything else, what we charge to help people do that is priceless. To get all that stuff, and we do it on a daily basis all the way through. The recruits that we're helping with this, we probably get more information through it than they get, and then we pass it on. I mean, that's how it plays out, you know. And I think I wish when my son was playing, there were companies out there, of course, but they were 2,000, 3,000 and up. I wish there was a company like ours back then that we could have utilized, because this, for the price and what you're getting, this is a tremendous opportunity we offer.
There's no doubt about it. If you told me as a player that I could have former college coaches working with me to get me to the next level for $500, $600, $700, $800 for the whole duration,
Yeah.
I'd jump all over it.
Now I'm going to jump. We talked about the players. Again, this is just a recap of a previous podcast. I'm going to jump to the parent side now. How to help your athlete without taking over. Well, I put this down. Be a project manager, not the star player. Coaches want to hear from your son or daughter. They don't want to hear so much from you as an agent or things like that. You know, you should be there helping your child stay on task with the eligibility center, calendar, campus visit, things like that. Things that we also do for the athlete. Your child cannot figure out the money, academic, and the fit as well as you can, because you're the money holder 99.9% of the time. So go there. And I think the big one here is protect your athlete from burnout. That's the thing I'm seeing quite a bit. Is it's just they get involved in this. It's a grueling process. In fact, that's why we're here, to take that off your plate and help you with it. But help support the athlete, set healthy boundaries with the social media, manage their expectations. Remember, you know, the value is not tied to their offers, you know, because let's face it, you're looking to go D1 and you don't get any offers. What's the first thing you start to go? You start thinking. So, you know, you've got to do things like that. And then you can work in conjunction with us. And I think it helps. You know, you guys got kids now that are that recruitable age or getting there. Coach Porter, you had one be recruited. It's mentally taxing to go through this, maintain your academics, play your sport at a high level, and then still have a social life.
Yeah. There's absolutely. You got to counsel kids on what they're getting into, right? Because it's different than the model that they're growing up in.
Right.
It's a lot different than the model that they're growing up in baseball right now, you know? So, you know, these kids bounce around like crazy to the flavor of the month organization, flavor of the month coach, right? And they you know, don't see their teammates throughout the week. Then they go play with their teammates on the weekend. I need a fill-in player this week. You know, I need this. And it's like, you know, you're playing what Coach Procopio used to say, Coach Cart, is straight baseball. You're just playing straight baseball, right? And most of the times, what's the strategy? What's this? You know, the 2-hour time limit. You a lot of time, like I don't know, in some of these summer American Legion tournaments that we've played with these time limits, I don't know that we've ever played a full game in 2 hours.
Right.
It's embarrassing. I mean, it's embarrassing that, I mean, the tournaments, and I understand, because I've ran tournaments before, about staying on schedule and understanding that, but not only did I have a tentative time limit, I also had an umpire meeting and I said, make them keep 1 foot in the box. They get a minute in between innings. Keep the game moving. No one does that anymore. No one does
Or
that.
even go. I would. Why not? If we're going to play all these elite travel tournaments, and they may already do it, why not use some of the speed up rules in college baseball? Why not
100%.
do that instead of going, because you're playing an artificial game.
Yeah.
That's not how the game. And I've told people this before, that the game's not meant to play. I'm away from my teammates and then show up and play 5 games in 3 days. That's not how the game is.
Right.
And you're also playing for just a bunch of these small tournaments. So like, it's not like you're playing. I mean, no disrespect, and I get it. I get some of these tournaments are like ultra competitive. I totally understand that. But in the end, like, you're not playing for a state championship.
No.
And
Nope.
then you'll say the national championship. Well, whose national championship is this? Who has the authority to say this is a national championship?
There's 100 national championships out there.
It's absurd, guys. I think it's part of the problem that we're having in college baseball, in college athletics. I do.
You're absolutely right. That's exactly
I do.
it.
Nick Saban talked about these kids having options, and they have way too many. What?
Yep.
And it's, you know what's a shame even more? These kids are growing up 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. They don't play for their town anymore. They don't play for their town. When we were growing up, every town had a team, and you had to try out, right? Every town had a team, and you had some pride, and you played on Tuesday and Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and you had a couple practice during the week, and it was consistent. And now we've gone to this mass chunk of baseball games every weekend. And during the week, you're in recovery mode, and by the end of the summer, the kids are snapping back at their dads for making them play. Like, it's absurd. It's not the same game.
Well,
You're right.
I like the one that you go to the travel tournaments. You guys may come across this, and it says 5-game guarantee. So yeah, we're going to get 5 games in. Well, you have bad weather the first night. I actually saw kids play. Now these were 14 to 18-year-old kids. Game got pushed back. They started their game at 1:30 in the morning. They played from 1:30 to 3:30, the 2-hour time limit. Guess when the next game was for the loser of that game? 10 a.m. So it's like, what are you doing?
I think all the training and stuff like that's really good in the game.
Yeah.
I think there's some good facilities. There's some great facilities, and there's some travel guys that do it right. But like, it's just, I don't know.
Well, the bottom line with all this is, if you are just totally committed to playing in college, you not just really want to play, and not just really, really want to play. You really, 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 really want to play. I mean, you've got to bleed that sport that you're trying to get into. Then we have a product to offer you. We can take care of all this stuff, help you with the college fit, help you with the college location, the resume, the target list, track your progress, checks on colleges, contact coaches. I mean, it doesn't sound like much with us talking right here, but you guys know, you're going through it now with your kids, trying to help them. It's a tremendous, tremendous time factor that you have to do this. Coach Carr, you can allude to this because you got a young son who wants to play in college, and you're working a full-time job. You have the hitting and workout facility. You're a mental health coach. He is a student. You got to keep good grades. He's got this. He played travel ball. You know, you walk by your other family members in the middle of the night. Good night. And that's how it turns out. You know.
Yeah, we're a little bit more fortunate when it comes to some of that stuff, just because our proximity to a lot of events. But my daughter's also playing a travel sport, and so yeah, I mean, there's a lot of weekends where we just pass in the night, more to say, and but at the same time, I get to spend a ton of time with my son. I get to spend a ton of time with my daughter. And, for me, those are the most important parts of
Right.
all of it. And so navigating the other parts, I mean, that's, they've got to want to, do it. And so I think with, at least with what we've seen kind of from my son's perspective is, yeah, I mean, he absolutely wants to do it. He wants to, put the legwork in, and, and research and make sure that his courses are aligned, and all points in between. But at the same time, it's not for people that don't want to work. I mean,
Right.
There's a clip out there where Joe Rogan's talking about being a savage, and how like the savage people and the people that just don't take no for an answer are going to rule the world one day. And I really think that a lot of young folks need to watch that clip and embrace it, and not not let the outward influences creep in. I mean, even if it's social media or anything of that, that particular perspective, you got to stay focused on what's important, and
Right.
getting to that goal. So,
Well, gentlemen, that's all I have. Anything you'd like to add? Before we go tonight, though, I'm going to go off baseball, softball here. We have one coach on the screen here, a very proud dad. His daughter just won the state basketball championship. She was the MVP of the tournament. What'd you say? Over 1,000 points, 900 rebounds. She's an all-state basketball, all-state volleyball. Going to play basketball next year. And Coach Porter, this is the first I've seen him not smiling all night, because he's been smiling probably since they won over the weekend. But Coach, just delve in a little bit about your daughter, because tremendous success story.
Well, she just amazing. Amazing. Has just worked really, really hard. Really proud of her. Obviously, she's a coach's kid. And I never, you know what? Dads, moms, I've never coached my kid. And I've enjoyed it a lot. A lot. Being dad and watching her and just supporting her in that way has been extremely refreshing to me as a human being. Proud of her, proud of her team. Had to play three grueling games in 3 days to win the tournament. They're a big school. And she just, night one set a rebound record.
What's she have in the
Single
game?
game.
Single game.
24 points, 24 rebounds, first game of the state basketball tournament. Anyway, but you know what, though? None of that happens without her teammates. And she would have rather scored none and won. And she'll tell you that. And yeah, just very proud of her. And as a parent and a human, one of the greatest days of my life, one of the greatest experiences of my life. And I just can't, I can't get over it, to be honest with you. I mean, that feeling is just, uh, unreal. And as a coach, you know, you know, the drive and determination that their teammates have, definitely looking for that in, my own players. Special group. That's a special group of young ladies. that actually kind of turned their season around midpoint. To be honest with you, they hit some rocky times playing a tough schedule, and they banded together and turned it around. And there's a lot to be said for it. So just a proud dad.
It goes right back to, they aren't losses, they're lessons, and they learn
Right.
from it.
Right.
Congratulations to you. Congratulations to your daughter. I'm sure she's going to have a tremendous college career, and we'll be cheering on your next daughter and Coach Cart's son coming up, and
Yep.
and doing the same thing. And I'm going to be sitting here listening to all your stories and following them on the internet. So, but you want help with your baseball, softball? We are here. HeadandAccountRecruiting.com. Do that questionnaire. It doesn't cost you 1 penny to do that questionnaire and have us contact you to evaluate you. And guess what? We don't hound you to be a client.
Mm-hmm.
You want to work with us? You can work with us. If you don't, we understand. Good luck. But we know how hard it is, and we know how hard it is going to be to get noticed. And unless you're one of the elite group, you're down here, we can move you up in that group. But until next week, this has been Ron